Today we'll hear from our last new character. Her name is Porscha Johnson. I slam my lunch tray down on the table across from Leslie and Chinkara. Deandra looks up, startled, from the next table, then turns back to her lasagna. The minute I turn 21, I'm changing my name, I say to no one in particular. I mean that. Why wait? Says Shankara. We've had this conversation before. Why not change it now? I shake my head. Too complicated. Fine then. Count to 10 and try this. She slices off a square of her pizza from her plate and shoves it in my mouth. Shankara is a problem solver. She has no patience for taking a thing to death. Do something about it or shut up is her motto. I guess she's right. But one of these days, the name Porscha will just have to go. I'm tired of providing oversized boys with these raw materials for adolescent jokes about my being a high-maintenance mama or some sort of luxury item. Then there are those oily, leering, dirty men on the block who drool or wink at me when I pass by. On my way home, asking if they can take me for a test drive. Please. But for now, I'm stuck with Porscha. I can live with it a little while longer, though. It's amazing how easy it is to get a bad reputation. My whole life I ran around letting people pick on me, laughing it off when they teased me, fast talking my way out of fights. They'd call me Four Eyes or Stuck Up or Miss Bug-Eyed Bookworm, and I'd pretend their words were water and let them roll off my back. Now I'm nobody's duck, and their words stung a whole lot more than water, but I held my temper. It took a bully 9 straight months of bothering me to cause my thermometer to boil, and once I lost it, did anybody blame it on the bully? No. They start calling me crazy, whispering it behind my back. It was as if the other Porscha, the easygoing, even-tempered one, never even existed. Truth is, she always did and always will. Deandra and Shankara know that, and now so does Leslie. If only the other kids knew the truth. I could never beat up anybody the way I beat Charmaine last year. I'd be so afraid to. What if I couldn't stop? What if there was no one around to pull me off? I could kill somebody. I know it's in me. I've got Mama's blood running through my veins, haven't I? She came close enough to killing me more than once. When I was 12, she went on one of those tears and punched me from one side of the room to the other because I didn't wash a dish. I don't think that was the real reason, though. She was probably just stressed out from working overtime or from dealing with the hard-to-please new bosses or from juggling all the bills, and I just caught the hard end of it. But who cares about the real reasons? The thing is, the same kind of ugly anger lives deep in me. I couldn't really see that until Charmaine brought it out last year. I have to make sure that monster never shows her face again, no matter what. So I find ways to keep her in check. When anger rips a hole in me now, I punch a wall or run until the wind cuts off my breath. Once I sat on a curb and ran a piece of broken bottle across my fingertips. I couldn't live with that, though. Not again. No, these kids have nothing to fear from me. They just don't know it. Leslie says I've got to learn to let people in, and I know she's right. Poetry just may be a way to do that. I mean, it worked for Devin, didn't it? And Tyrone. We all got to see another side of them. Even Janelle gets up there, Miss Shyness herself. I've never seen her turn so bold, although the boldness only seems to last as long as she's up front reading her poem. Still, that's something. Tyrone was the biggest surprise, though. Who would have guessed he wrote poetry? And he knows his poems by heart, no less. Every Friday, there he is, the first one to raise his hand when Mr. Ward asks who's got something they want to read. And he's always the first one up, if Mr. Ward gives him the chance. No goofing around like he usually does, either. He's all business. He takes center stage, clears his throat, and smoothly launches into his rhyme. The first time he got up there, I rolled my eyes like half the sisters in class. Certain he was going to spout something lame or nasty about girls and sex or gangsters. I mean, that's all he's ever talked about before, right? But there was nothing lame about his poem, And none of it was about that stuff. It was about what's going on in the world and about trying to make sense of it. It was a poem by somebody who really thinks about things, and that somebody turned out to be Tyrone. He made me change my mind about him that day. Maybe I can change people's minds about me too. It's worth a shot. I better do it quick though. There's only a few open mic Fridays left before school's out, and the last one will be at the assembly. And I don't plan on getting up in front of everybody, of strangers especially, my first time out. Friday is 2 days away, and I know exactly the poem I'm going to read. Open Mic, A Letter to My Mother by Porscha Johnson. Dear Mom, you with the hypodermic needle in your arm, I never said goodbye or joined your funeral procession because I was too angry at that time. Leaving me seemed to be your choice. Why make it? Was it something that I did or said? Weeks after you were dead, those questions hammered me until I thought my heart would shatter. But then, as my friend told me, the why of your absence doesn't really matter. Besides, I'm older now and understand a little about pain and the crazy things it drives us to. So even though this may be overdue, remember some things are better late than never. Mom, I finally forgive you. Love, Porscha. P.S. Goodbye.